Good afternoon and welcome to our graduation ceremony. My name is Elise Brush and I'm the National Student Resolutions Coordinator. Before our academic procession enters the hall, I've just got a few announcements for you. So the first one is, could you please switch all mobile phones to silent, just so we don't have any disruptions during the ceremony. A quick one for our graduands as well. If you have any personal belongings on you, please raise your hand now because you will not be sitting back in the same seat afterwards. So you just need to make sure that your belongings have been taken by our marketing team and our staff. You'll be able to collect them afterwards. There is currently no fire drill scheduled for today, so if at any stage you hear an alarm or an alert tone, please stand by in case of evacuation. If we hear a second and different alarm or alert tone, we just need to be ready to evacuate. Please don't panic. There will be fire wardens instructing us on what we need to do. Sorry, let me just make sure I've got my right announcements. Okay, to our graduands, congratulations, you have made it. Can we give a big round of applause to our graduands? You are all currently sitting in an allocated seat in the order that you will be moving across the stage. Please do not move from this seat before you receive your certificate. During the conferral of awards, so just before you are crossing the stage, you will be asked to stand up row by row, turn to your right and walk the whole way to the end of the row to this aisle just over here. The staff will direct you as you go, but you'll be standing, turning and walking to the end of your row. You will then be progressing down the stairs towards the stage, where you will see the lovely Melissa in the blue jacket at the front and give her your ticket that you received upon registration, so she can check that you are the right person who will next be crossing the stage. Yes, this is where you pull out your tickets if possible. If not, please just tell us your name when you arrive so we can make sure you are the right person. At all times, sorry, this is really important if I can just get some silence. Thank you. At all times, we do ask that you follow directions of the staff, as we will be telling you what you need to do. At some points, we might be asking you to stand and move along a few seats and sit back down in another spot temporarily, so please just listen to the staff as we tell you this. When you get to the edge, make sure that you give Melissa your ticket or you tell her your name just before you cross the stage. When your name is then called, this is the exciting bit. You get to come up the stairs just in front of me. You will walk to the centre of the stage where you will receive your certificate. Professor John Rosenberg will be holding one side of the certificate and you will be holding the other side. Due to COVID safe measures, we will not be doing handshakes this time. Your photo will then be taken with you holding your certificate, so please turn towards our photographer in the middle and smile and make sure you enjoy that moment. You have worked very hard to be here. You will then take your documents, you will walk off to the side over here on my right, and you will be greeted by some of our staff who will present you with a small gift. You will then be proceeding up the stairs where you will find myself and Damien, and we will direct you back to the seat that you now need to sit in. This will, in most cases, be a different seat to where you are currently sitting, but I promise you'll get to see your friends afterwards, so don't worry. At the conclusion of the ceremony, everyone will be asked to stand for the academic procession, where the academics on the stage will be exiting via the middle aisle. We will then invite all of our graduates to proceed to the middle aisle and walk up the stairs following them, and after our graduates have left, we will ask our guests to follow out into the foyer. After the ceremony, we'll be conducting some video interviews to ask about your experience at ACAP. If you are interested and you'd be willing to participate, these will take about 10 minutes and there will be a gift for those involved. If you would like to participate in this, please see one of the staff members after we've exited the hall and we'll tell you what you need to do. Alrighty, to everyone, it is your day today. Please, please make sure we celebrate our graduates and make sure that everyone is enjoying themselves. Cheer as loud as you like when they are crossing the stage. We know it has taken a lot of work to get them here today. Guests, you are most welcome to take photos during the ceremony, but we ask that you do remain seated throughout and please do not obstruct the aisles. With those aspects covered, it's now time to get on with the ceremony. So please stand for our academic procession.
Thank you, and please be seated. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the May 2022 graduation ceremony for the Australian College of Applied Professions. My name is Andrew O'Brien, and I'm the Sydney Campus Manager, Master of Ceremonies, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all this afternoon. I think we would have mentioned in the pre-briefing phones to silent. I'd like to add to that hashtag ACAP Grad 22 to share those photos for this wonderful occasion. I'd also like to offer a special welcome to those watching the ceremony via live stream. Lots of challenges around COVID, but one of the the benefits that's taken us into the future is now live streaming our graduation ceremony so a wider audience can participate. So for those family and friends unable to be here today, it's wonderful to have you tuning in as well. I'd now like to invite Mr. Alan Madden, representative of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Council, to perform the Welcome to Country. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Alan Madden, Gadigal Elder. For my first song, only kidding. Married man, not kidding. 10 children, 26 grandchildren, and 14 great-grand. Yes, we did have TV. Just couldn't afford the electricity. Born and bred in Redfern, the capital of Sydney, many years ago. Welcome to Country is always an honour and pleasure for me. Just to give you a bit of an insight of where you are and who we are. As we've all welcomed the countries, firstly I'd like to acknowledge our traditional owners and First Nations and pay my respects to all our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander brothers and sisters. From whatever Aboriginal or Island nation you may have come from, welcome to Gadigal. And to all our non-Indigenous brothers and sisters here today, a very warm and sincere welcome to you to Gadigal. No matter where you've come from, whether it be across the seas, across the state or across town, once again, a very warm and sincere welcome to you to Gadigal. And as I've mentioned many times before, was, is, and always will be Aboriginal land. Only three things shorter than that: coming, taxation and going. It's an honour and pleasure to be here today to welcome one and all to Gadigal. Gadigal is one of 29 clans of the Eora Nation. The Eora Nation is bounded by nature's own, the Hawkesbury River to the north, the Pean to the west, and Georges River to the south. And in between those three mighty rivers is the Eora Nation. And in that nation, there are 29 clans. And the clan's land we're on today is Gadigal. On behalf of members of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council and of the Gadigal mob, once again, a very warm and sincere welcome to you to Gadigal. There's an old Aboriginal saying out there, and I think it's very appropriate for you mob here today. They say, where there's a will, there's relatives. So once again, on behalf of the Land Council and of the Gadigal mob, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you.
So, Alan, on behalf of our college and all those assembled here today, thank you very much to you and to the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council for that welcome. Thank you very much. We are gathered here today to celebrate the academic achievements and professional development of a large number of our students about to be graduates. To begin the celebration, I'd invite George Garrett, our CEO, to welcome distinguished guests, graduates, family, friends and academic staff. George.
Esteemed guests, colleagues, graduates, family and friends, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the wonderful occasion in this life of our graduates. Today represents the culmination of the great commitment, effort and dedication by each graduate sitting here before you. The achievement for which all of you should be immensely proud. To the graduates, whilst this is your day and your achievement, I want you to remember those that have helped you along the way. Your family, your friends, your ACAP educators, and your ACAP staff. To our many wonderful academic staff and educators, thank you for all that you have done to educate and open the minds of our graduates. To the library teams, to the sales staff, to the marketing team, to the accessibility and student learning team, to the IT team, to the student engagement staff, placement and campus managers, to those often unseen team members in our various administrative functions who have helped our graduates reach this day, I want to thank you. I hope that you have made connections. I hope you're connected with your educators, your professors, to the ACAP staff, to your industry, and of course to your fellow graduates. Connections can be very powerful in life. They can open doors, they can help with a problem, they can refer a client, they can keep you grounded. For me, I've had the fortune of forming a long association with the college well before I started working here. You see, my connection is that my mother sat where you are 20 years ago. She's also a graduate of ACAP. You never know where and when a connection will help you. So I've asked you to remember those who have helped you along your journey, and I've asked you to make connections, 2 additional skills on top of all that you have learnt. After today, we are proud to call you alumni. Keep connected with ACAP and share your stories as you continue to achieve. Best of luck in your chosen career, profession, practice, project or adventure. Thank you.
Thank you, George. And now to the conferring of awards. Today's ceremony is one of the most ancient ceremonies of higher education. It is the formal presentation of candidates by the faculty, represented by a leading academic from each discipline, to the chair of the academic board, representing the authority of the institution to confer awards. For each graduating cohort of a higher education course, we also acknowledge that the graduates with a grade point average of 6.75 or higher as graduating with merit. We begin with the presentation of awards for the discipline of counselling. It's my pleasure to invite Mr. John Clark, lecturer in the discipline of counselling, to present the graduands to Professor Rosenberg, chair of the ACAP academic board.
Professor Rosenberg, I present to you candidates for the Diploma of Counselling Skills. Kelly Buckley. Kathleen Chow. Natalie Dives. Kate Kolesinski. Juru Krabali. Rainey Moran. Saimane Tueri. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Applied Social Science. Sharon Blevin. Karen Crawford. Amy Wilson. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Counselling. Athena Banks. Roseanne Campbell. Bonnie Canales. Michelle Edwards. Christine Elhaj. Kellen Hamil. Sonia Hedges. Sarah Inglis. Jatupon Jakanta. Manjula Jas. Steve Kim. Joshua Luya. Beata McLean. Angela Metcalf. Jessica Mitchell. Lynn Morgan. Sharon Newman. Abulfaz Nawi. Jacqueline Oakley. Patricia Risk. Charlotte Ritchie. Ratanpreet Singh. Molly Springweiner. Cedric Webber. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Counselling. Coaching. Christine Katsapis. Yvette Therese Milley. Sarah Rawilla. Christy Sathers. Liz Wheeler. We also wish to acknowledge the partnership between Liz and Poppy the guide dog. Professor Rosenberg, I present Poppy for a special ACAP acknowledgement and recognition as a result of partnering with and relentless support of Liz throughout the Bachelor's program. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Graduate Diploma of Wellbeing in Schools. Georgia Forbes. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you candidates for the Graduate Diploma of Counselling. Alexandra Claremont. Renee Davies. Genevieve Deckel. Sarah El-Assad. Amy Ford. Veronica Greaves. Penelope Hamilton. Eleanor Hartstein. Priyanka Kesu. Angie Martin Garcia. Eliza McCann. Jim McElroy. Francis McLaughlin. Heather Myratkin. Shivani Matari. Karen Mossman. Oluwaseyi Ogundeji. Rika Palos Conti. Masha Radic. Tanya Ray. Jonelle Cisneros. Scout Smith O'Leary. Alan Stokes. Simon van der Stap. Beatrice Ann Lopez Villiers-Delry. Cameron Wilcox. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you candidates for the Masters of Counselling and Psychotherapy. Nafisa Abedin. Amanda Boafo. Brianna Carmody. Marissa Henslow. Mia Kennedy. Charlotte Mathers. Fabiha Noah. Isabella Tomitsu, no.
I would now like to introduce and welcome our occasional speaker for today's ceremony, Mahalia Schultz. Mahalia graduated with a Masters of Counselling and Psychotherapy from ACAP 4 years ago. Mahalia lives in Albury-Wodonga and since graduating has had her thesis, an analysis of anxiety-provoking stimuli in regional secondary students, published by the Australian Counselling Association. Mahalia has a passion for working with young people and has worked as a wellbeing coordinator for a rural high school. Mahalia is currently the senior practitioner for the school wellbeing program in the Wagga Wagga Diocese for primary schools and runs a community-based private practice focusing on the needs of young males. Please join me in welcoming Mahalia Schultz.
Thank you. So as mentioned, my name is Mahalia and I graduated the Masters of Counselling and Psychotherapy 4 years ago. In that 4 years, I've worked with adults, young people, and am currently a senior practitioner with primary school children. I also do manage a community-based private practice that focuses on the needs of young people. So I want to start by stating that I honour you all. I acknowledge the amount of effort taken to attain your degrees. I was lucky enough to obtain my degree during a time where we could have face-to-face workshops and computer screens were only used for connecting through peer supervision. I can't imagine what it was like for you to study with limited face-to-face time with others. Despite becoming very familiar with technology, cheers COVID, I'm unsure how I would have had to replace those afternoon coffees with my university friends and dinners to debrief on those 2-day workshops, with wondering what background I would need to choose for my Zoom meetings. You each dealt with your own personal challenges during the pandemic, as well as completing your studies to the best of your ability. You're now sitting here ready to step into the workplace, and this is something you should be so proud of, and again, I honour you all. Like the way that you studied, the mental health world changed dramatically over the last 3 years. From experience, my cases were all a little more complex. They needed a little more attention, a little deeper thought, and sometimes a different approach to wellness. Natural supports were not readily available for some, and as a therapist, they weren't readily available for me either. Always remember that you are valuable, and as graduates entering the mental health world, you are a gem in the rough. You are so important. I manage my workload and challenges by thriving on connection, coincidentally what our clients need to thrive as well. I find connection with those who share the passion for the work I do and surround myself with people who support me. I find strength in my co-team leader. She provides me with a space to think critically about my challenge, challenges and presents me with a different way of thinking. I work with a lot of school principals, and I find joy in teaching them a new way of thinking about a child. I watch them listen, take advice, and put it into practice. I know there that my words are valued. And lastly, my family. Talking to them about the small wins encourages me to see the positives in each day and know that others are proud of what I do. So when you enter the mental health world, remember that you might need connection too. We learn from others, not just our clients, but the people who we spend every day with. We all go into a mental health career with a passion of wanting to help. I remember thinking to myself upon graduation, what niche will I fall into? I grew up in a rural area with limited access to support. There was a lack of understanding around mental health, and I had my own mental health journey as a teen. Because of this, my passion is more specific now, and I want to guide young people to have the voice where they previously haven't had the courage to speak out. I found that my interests were then shaped by my passion, and my counselling niches naturally fell alongside what was best for my clients. I fell in love with mental health work early on. Knowing that I was driven to work with young people, I began working as the wellbeing coordinator for a rural high school. I supported the students through 2 rounds of COVID restrictions and also the fire season in Corryong. Our school was home to the CFA over the summer, and we had limited access to mental health supports at this time. My job was to help guide those who were silent to speak up. We had many students impacted by the fires. Some lost their homes. Many had family members fighting. They had no control, and I will say they were suffering. So rather than focusing on just therapy, I worked with those young people to identify what really brought joy into their worlds. I was a constant guide and was always looking at ways that their world could improve. I recognised their struggle, but realised that therapy could go no further than providing them a space to be vulnerable and feel heard. I feel joy remembering the Student vs CFA soccer matches at lunch that I supported to organise, and the joy in the students who cooked for the CFA in their hospitality classes. They had time to be vulnerable in a therapy space, but they were able to combat a lack of control just by giving back. I heard their voices, and I worked towards them being able to have a voice in their communities too. 3 of the students have now finished high school and are volunteering for the CFA and working with the school to embed those soccer matches into their PE curriculum. I will carry one story with me for the rest of my career. I guided a young person who was confused about their sexuality. The family was not supportive of being different, didn't want to agree to a referral to a psychologist, and there were no procedures at school to support those who identified as LGBTIQ. And this person was both depressed and suicidal. So I gave the person the task of creating a LGBTIQ committee, surrounded by his friends. I watched his confidence grow as they scheduled meetings and organised rainbow bake sales. I watched him stand up for himself in the yard when others questioned his haircut. Upon graduating, he and I had published the first LGBTIQ school policy in North East Victoria for transitioning students. He wasn't suicidal anymore. He had the courage to tell his family that he would transition to become a male. He actually rang me last week to show me how deep his voice is after his hormone replacement therapy. So my passion cemented that day, and this young person showed me how important it is just to guide, focus on the bigger picture, and allow for someone's voice to naturally develop. My message to you is to be passionate every day. Focus on what you can do in the now, and focus on those small wins that you see with clients, because it will make it all worthwhile. So you're here, you want to help others, and are aware of the challenges that you will face. You've learned about the power of connection and the power of passion. I lastly want to talk about the power of contribution. As it was mentioned earlier, I work as a senior practitioner for the School Wellbeing Program at Centre Care Southwest New South Wales. I currently co-support 26 primary schools in the Wagga Diocese. My role is to hold a counselling caseload of children aged 5 to 12, write and run early intervention programs, and upskill the adults in the school community. I get to support little people to function in their world, and I'm so lucky for that. Sometimes the days are hard, and even sometimes my passion is wilted. The power of contribution is as important as it gives us that motivation to make larger changes to the mental health sector. We are the people on the ground. We see the challenges that our people see. Creating change will validate the work that we do and show others how deeply we advocate for those who don't have their voice just yet. Every experience at work can create change. You just need to know the right place to look. For me, I'm currently working on a Years 5 and 6 program to support children's transition to high school. The key change is that we're working with the students to be interviewed on what messages they want to hear. The bigger picture, we've created a voice for our tweens and increased their sense of self. All practitioners at Centrecare, we ask our little people to draw about their experience in counselling. The key change, they feel validated that we genuinely care about their experience. The bigger picture is we collect this information, quantify it, and use it for quality improvements. When starting my private practice, I reflected on the conversations from young people. They were saying that they didn't want to go to therapy because offices are too stale and clinical. I chose to create a private practice in the community with no office. Some of the best therapy sessions have been walking in a park or by having a cup of coffee by the lake. So please take any opportunity to contribute. If you attend professional development, ask questions and provide feedback. Really ask your clients how they're going and take it on board. Participate in surveys of other students as they're trying to shape the future of mental health as well. I've spent time talking about giving our clients voices, but your voice is just as important too. So to close, I want to again congratulate you all in finishing your studies. Be proud, be the voice for those who don't have one, and celebrate your wins. Find connection in those around you and be vessels for change. To quote Ilya Rivera Walter, success is not found in doing something for the client, but rather being someone for the client. You are already an incredible group of individuals. Honour your work and the positive change that you will make in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahalia, for those wonderful words and contribution to the ceremony. It's always incredibly rewarding for my colleagues and I at the college to hear about the incredible work being done by our graduates, and that was just a beautiful insight into the power of what you can all achieve. And so we really thank you for the way you presented. That was just quite special. Thank you. I think Lisa has a token of our appreciation before we move on. It's now my pleasure to invite Dr. Sharon Arris, Discipline Lead for Social Work Sydney, to present graduates to Professor Rosenberg.
Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidate for the Associate Degree of Human Services, Aggie Hinton. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Social Work, Amy Bonney. Eliza Buckley. Carla Camargo. Gay Cameron. Lamek Chiutsi. Daniela Hernandez Arenas. Corin Hockman. Alana Hutchings. Patricia Casas. Bruna Lira. Abiola Aganlayi. Jahari Pitts. Pushpinder Singh. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidate for the Graduate Certificate of Human Services, Santoshi Khadka. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Master of Social Work qualifying, Marie Joy Agapito. Nazreen Aglodia. Fahana Akhtar. Evia Omaya Titi Ama. Laura Bloomer. Berry Demi Casino. Somik Chaya Charlise. Jessica Dahal. Santosi Dahal Gautam. Ashley Dolman. Bindia Dura. Delight Egbaneki. Shoshana Eisman. Leticia Francois. Usha Gejmeya. Jade Gang. Dharma Raj Gimire. Manju Gurung. Nirisha Gurung. Indira Kumari Roang. Shanjita Hawk. Emmanuel Paul Eboati. Debbie Eda Hosier. Caroline Ilufi Bauka. George Ioannidis. Megan Johnson. Srijana Joshi. Anupama Kaki. Gurab Kaki. Rachana Kaki. Harpreet Cow. Ojashwi KC. Saru Khatri. Evelyn Kibure. Yeva Kisulanati. Akrish Lima. Kebita Lama. Anju Mahajan. Rosni Mahajan. Rakshana Mahajan. Alicia Mahat. Ronnie Manunda. Simona Matevska Ilievska. Brenda Mockton. Dina Nupani. Manisha Pandey. Manuka Pradhan. Putri Purnamasari. Lakshmi Rai. Regana Rai. Avishek Rout. Maria Rivka. Sana Samdani. Bruna Seinig. Nicola Shahi. Monica Sharma. Deepa Shrestha. Dikshaya Shrestha. Dylan Shrestha. Nailu Shrestha. Selena Shrestha. Shivani Shrestha. Pooja Subaidi. Rubina Tamang. Riz Ivana Teng. Resma Thapa. Tanzila Waid.
Dr. Aris will also be presenting graduates from the discipline of criminology.
Nini Kashaba. Apologies. My apologies, Professor Rosenberg and graduates. I should have said Professor Rosenberg. I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Criminology and Justice. We had Nini Kashaba, Shane Morrison. Jacqueline Reedpath.
Thank you, Dr. Aris. Now to the presentation of awards in the discipline of psychological sciences. I invite Associate Professor Fiona Paps from the discipline of psychological sciences, Sydney, to present the graduates to Professor Rosenberg.
Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidate for the undergraduate certificate in psychological science, Estela Lopez. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science, Jamila Alves Estrella. Taylor Bunyan. Hannah Caroline. Pierre Hessemans. Nimet Kelkan. Madiha Ahmed Khan. No, that's, my apologies. Emily Quinton. Killian Rennie. Joseph Riley Ward. Jared Sherman. Simran Sidhu. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science and Counselling. Jayashri Bhaskar. Bernadette Coleman. Karina Field. Julie Mitchell. Meghna Rupa. Madiha Ahmed Khan. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science and Criminology. Melissa Lau. Lucy Jane Miles. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science Honours. Nicholas Apostolov, Honours Class 2, Division A. Lucy Chappell, Honours Class 1. Eugenie Dale, Honours Class 2, Division A. Nathan Daly, Honours Class 2, Division A. Dominique Gerard, Honours Class 2, Division A. Layal Hannah, Honours Class 2, Division A. Melinda Mully, with merit, Honours Class 1. Jason Peter Petrides, with merit, Honours Class 1. Jordan Smith, with merit, Honours Class 2, Division A. Xin Shu, Honours Class 2, Division A. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Graduate Certificate of Psychological Science. Tiffany Leclerc. Louise Tuginod Ong. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Graduate Diploma of Psychological Science. Jennifer Bauer. Diana Boorquez Rousas. Kate Centrone. Timothy Cheng. Stephanie Close. Michaela Eade. Michelle Finlay. Mary Ellen Galvin. Sonal Joshi with merit. Alicia Sara Ladizabal. Alicia Leon. Jessica McKenzie. Nancy Newen. Cassie Nicholas. Dragana Paravinja with merit. Frank Wasef. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the candidates for the Master of Psychology Clinical. Emma Fewings. Cassandra Garling. Scott Kelly. Michaela Jane Mifsud. Anthony Schulis.
Thank you, Associate Professor Papps. Congratulations to all our graduates. I now invite Professor Rosenberg to deliver the charge to graduates. Would all graduates please stand?
Just before I deliver the charge, I discovered on the way in today that our newly appointed Dean, Christopher Clopper, is also a graduate today. He chose to graduate in absentia, but as it turns out, he is here, so maybe you should stand as well to accept the charge. Today you stand before this assembly to be acknowledged as joining the ranks of scholarly peers. In today's ceremony, you have been clothed in the symbols of scholarship, cap, gown and parchment, including our friend down here, the four-legged parchment person, to indicate the wider community of scholars and the public at large that you have reached the completion of your studies with us. As ACAP graduates, we charge you with the very important mission to seek out your place in human services industries and to pursue a meaningful, sustainable and successful career. You do us proud to succeed in your studies, and through this public acknowledgement of your achievement, we send you forward as graduates and ACAP alumni. Honoured guests, colleagues, family and friends, I present to you the newest ACAP graduates.
We can be seated again, folks. ACAP recognises student academic achievement through the award of various certificates, prizes and medals. I invite Dr Christopher Clopper, our ACAP Dean, to present the award recipients to those that are present at this ceremony to Professor Rosenberg.
We acknowledge the graduate with the highest grade point average who is dux of their course. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you the following Student Excellence Award recipients. From the Diploma of Counselling Skills, the dux is presented to Kate Klosinski. From the Bachelor of Social Work, dux is awarded to Patricia Cassis. Graduate Diploma of Psychological Science, dux, goes to Sunel Joshi. Master of Counselling and Psychotherapy, the Dux Award is presented to Marissa Hanslow. We would now like to recognise the recipient of both the Australian Psychological Society Award and also the Dean's Prize for Outstanding Research. Professor Rosenberg, I present to you Lucy Chappell.
Thank you, Dr Clopper and Professor Rosenberg. This graduation ceremony would not be complete without a word on behalf of the graduates themselves. On behalf of all the graduates, I invite Sunel Joshi Dux of the Graduate Diploma of Psychological Sciences back to the stage to give the address.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is such an honour to be here representing all the graduating cohort today. Last time I did this, it was probably when I was in 6th class in primary school just a few years ago, and I'm as nervous right now as I was back then. But I found solace in the words of the wise, old, legendary father of resilience, who said, "Train yourself to let go of everything you fear." Yes, that was a quote from Yoda. I just switched the words around so that I didn't get caught for plagiarism. I should also warn you that my speech includes the word journey. I have been asked to tell you about my journey, which I think may have begun a little bit before most of yours. To illustrate, when I did my undergraduate degree, there were no apps or extensions like Mendeley, EndNote, no Turnitin. You couldn't even do a Google Scholar search on the internet because there was no internet. I remember writing my assignments on foolscap paper. Anyone remember foolscap paper? And if you made a mistake, you had to get some liquid paper and cross it out with a little white paintbrush. If you don't know what those things are, that's how long ago it was. That degree led to a 20-year career in the film industry. And I know a lot of people here can relate. A lot of us are career changers. And we learn from our reflective practice that our past experiences are carried through with us into our thoughts and behaviours today. None of our past careers were a waste of time. And that is particularly true for me because there is no better place than the film industry in which to observe pathological human behaviour. Apart from the Oscars, allow me to indulge in just one example. We learn about self-care and prevention of burnout. Well, on one particular film, we were just working day and night, hour after hour, completely unsustainable. And when we finally did get the courage to complain to the producers, they didn't offer us a night off, they offered us illicit chemical assistance instead. Needless to say, I ended up on the couch seeing a therapist and talking about a career change. And when I mentioned that I was interested in psychology, she said, "That's a great idea. Have you heard of ACAP?" And I'm so very grateful that she did. I've not once regretted making the decision 3 years ago to make a career change and come to ACAP. Of course, there have been some hard times, studying whilst trying to work, working whilst trying to study, trying to study or work while homeschooling 2 children during a global pandemic. It hasn't all been easy, but the highlights for me far outweigh the lows. I remember a particular highlight very early on for me. I had no idea where I stood academically, and in my very first assignment, I got a high distinction. And even though I'm a mum of 2, I could not wait to tell my mum and dad. And when I did finally tell them, their response was, "Eh, Bhagwan, oh my God, she's finally using her brain. I always knew she had one." I'm kidding, Mum and Dad were always very supportive, but it was a great way to unshackle the cultural burden of not being a doctor or a lawyer. And it made me realise that I could do this. And of course, we all did it, and we couldn't have done it without the amazing staff at ACAP. There have been many educators that have given us their time, their knowledge, and even parts of their personality to help us learn how to help others. One standout for me is John Rees. I remember when I was completely intimidated about doing stats, John Rees said, "Don't think of the stats as numbers. Each number represents a person, and each person has a story." And just humanising that experience made a huge impact on me. And I think that's indicative of the culture at ACAP. From day one, I have not felt like a number. The educators now know our names and seem genuinely invested in our progress. Big ups also to the amazing SLS staff who set us up for success from the outset. And that culture of empathy and support continues right up until your last day. I also just wanted to mention, from my perspective for psychology, the transition from on-campus to online learning was seamless. When COVID turned our world upside down, there was a minimal amount of disruption to our learning at ACAP, and I'm very grateful for that continuity and that stability, and even more grateful that I never have to do an on-campus exam ever again. Despite going online, we have been able to maintain connections, and I've also made some lifelong friends. On behalf of all the graduates, a huge thank you to those who have supported us and helped us along the way. On a personal note, I must acknowledge my incredible children, Nisha and Vikram, who are watching the live stream or playing Nintendo. I'm not sure which one. Nisha and Vix, you've been amazing. Your support and your understanding is far beyond your years, and you make me a better mum every day. And that goes tenfold for my incredible husband, Sar. Thank you for your support. I literally can't do this without you. Let's face it, by the time I'm fully qualified, we will be of retirement age. But I will sacrifice and I will support you so you can fulfil your lifelong dream of becoming a professional NBA player. And lastly, congratulations to all the graduates. I'm so proud to be up here within a group of people who have made a decision to facilitate healing in others. Because of fires, floods, the pandemic, our ears and our empathy have never been more necessary. And it's not just the big things. Someone here is going to listen to a mum who can't quite bond with her newborn baby. Someone else is going to help a teenager struggling with the pressures of social media. Whatever your pathway, and to really leave you with a quote from a founding father of psychology. William James said, "Act as if what you do makes a difference." It does. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanal, for your outstanding contribution to the ceremony. If you could just come back up for a moment. Lisa has a small token of our appreciation. Thank you. Well, folks, we are almost at the end of the formal proceedings for today's ceremony. I'd like to thank our distinguished guests, our academic colleagues, our professional colleagues, and pay particular thanks to, and I won't name them all, but the team who've organised today's ceremony. There's a lot of work goes into this, and in the challenges of COVID and everything else. Thank you to our staff who've done such a wonderful job in bringing us all here today. I have been asked, and I'll be in trouble if I don't, just to remind graduates to return their regalia by 4:30, so lots of time for some photos before we send those back. Now, before I close, I just wanted to add and highlight thanks and appreciation to the families, the friends, the colleagues, the workmates, all those people who've supported. Today, our focus has very much been on celebrating our graduates and their wonderful achievements. But I'd like to just add, on behalf of the college and behalf of the graduates, an extra special thanks and recognition to all the supporters, family, friends, those that are here, those that are watching, those that may watch the video, or have just contributed. So to all of you, it does take a community to support graduates, and your sacrifices, your support, all the things that you've done, the delayed holidays, the delayed dinners, the extra bits of putting up with graduates or students while they're becoming graduates, is to be recognised and applauded, and we thank you all very much. As my parents discovered when my second year as an undergraduate was the best 5 years of my life. And so, as we reach the close, I would once again congratulate our graduates. Thank you to everybody for coming along and making such a wonderful and special celebration. Would you please be upstanding for the academic recession? As the academic recession leaves, we'd like our graduates to follow in behind.